Look,
Welcome, everyone, to Sacred Prophet Daily. I'm Tom Hartman.
no,
We're here with Peter Daly and Melissa
no, no,
Prophet.
no.
Um,
Hey,
Today
when
we
I
have a
tell
great
you,
show.
when I ask you
It's
that
Amber
you're
Heard.
ready, when I ask you if you're ready, and then you chuckle and go, sure, that doesn't fill me with a ton of confidence. Just so you know, FYI.
The Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial is still ongoing. Now, the trial itself has been canceled, but they are appealing or thinking to appeal. Peter, thoughts?
I think Amber Heard has a very strong
Great
case.
news. So Camille Vasquez, in the Camille Vasquez corner, we're going to talk about nose jobs and injectable fillers. So, Peter, do you think that Camille Vasquez has had a nose job or injectable fillers?
Question: Does she
Excellent.
live in
Now we're going to switch
California?
over to Johnny Depp's TikTok, where we get to see every single TikTok Johnny Depp has ever done. This is a great show, Peter.
The Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing is old news. All right, old news.
Excuse me, what?
It's old news. I'm looking forward to the January 6th hearings coming up on NBC, CNN,
So they are going to
ABC.
televise it.
Oh, it's going to be prime time. It's going to be fantastic. They're going to have it produced. They really want to make it exciting. They got to put it forefront in people's minds so that they know what they're voting on the next election, the midterms. It's not about the gas prices. It's not about Putin's inflation, Putin's price hike. God, I love that. Putin's
But what
price
made
hike.
it so fun that the trial was that the judge was fair. Here
No,
they're
that
going to
doesn't
have
make. No,
what's his
it's going to
name?
be. It's not going to be a judge. It's just hearings. They're going to do testimony and conversation, and it's not under. Wait, will it be under oath?
Yeah,
Yeah, it will be under
everything
oath.
at the Congress is
But there's
under
no
oath.
judge. It'll just going to be the senators grandstanding. It's going to be great.
Okay, that's going to be fantastic.
I hope Law Tube really I don't know, makes it happen or something.
We got to get Emily D. Baker on the show, and she'll give us the breakdown of what to expect.
People are probably wondering what's going on here. We are not supposed to be streaming on our Happy for a Change YouTube channel. We're supposed to be streaming on our new Rivendell channel, but we have to wait 24 to 48 hours. Didn't realize we have to wait that long in order to stream
I
there.
knew
So we're
this.
streaming this here.
Peter never thought about this.
I never thought about it. Tom never communicated it, which I think is probably worse, but whatever. But why is this called New Rivendell, Tom?
It's just a domain name that was available. I decided just get something, token-esque. No, New Rivendell, right? Rivendell. Anybody who was a true Lord of the Rings fan, and if you're not, I mean, honestly, why are you even watching? There's not even any point to it.
This is not Lord of the Rings.
I mean, it's Lord of the Rings inspired. We're trying to hide a revolution to overthrow the government underneath sort of like a LARPing, sort of Tolkien-esque sort of situation, so that people don't take us seriously.
Now the CIA has put us on a list. The FBI, Department of Homeland Security,
All we have to do is
the
not
Washington
mention
Post.
Alex Jones, and we're fine. Then the algorithm can't get us.
Then the algorithm can't get us. All right.
Can't find us. Now's the time to have a red dot on our heads that are just like.
Tom, they don't need to kill our physical bodies, all right? Remember in the Bible it says, I'm paraphrasing, but you don't need to fear man who could just destroy your body. Fear God who can destroy your immortal soul. Well, now they can destroy your immortal soul. They can ruin you for all history. I mean, there are people not yet born who will hate Donald Trump, Amber Heard, Edward Snowden, I don't know, Julian Assange, right? They're going to go Google him or whatever the equivalent of Google will be 20 years from now, government Google, and all the hate, they're destroying your whole legacy, your whole history now. So they don't have to kill your body. In fact, killing your body it really seems like their last step. Jeffrey Epstein, like they waited for him to be in a jail cell before they killed his physical body. They're like, I guess now we got to kill his physical body. But before that, it's just tarnishing his name, his reputation. What are you going to believe, Jeffrey Epstein? You're going to believe this guy? You're going to believe him? He's not believable.
Black Mirror was always like hey, we can do this to you. All right. So keep your mouth shut. Let's send troops to where we need to send troops and spend money the way we need to spend money. All right. You want to get erased? Yeah. Look, I like that because at least the content is still around, right? I mean, I guess not if you're Chris Hedges, your content's not around, but
that's right. No,
they have your content still there.
No, they rewrite history. Before, I used to feel like, oh, when you post something online, when you do something on the internet, it's there forever. All you got to do is get on the wrong side of the government, the wrong side of social media, and they will wipe you from the internet. It's pretty good. I had a
Speaking of
woman,
wiping you from the internet, have you heard of what's going on with Celsius Network? Have you and I talked about this?
Celsius. Is that another stable coin?
Celsius token is a no, not a stable coin. So Celsius token is like a banking platform for crypto. It's a centralized banking platform for crypto. So you can deposit money, earn interest, you can lend, borrow, all that sort of thing. And
What do you mean? What a centralized banking? So how's that different than a bank? Why aren't you
it's a
just saying it's
crypto
a
bank.
bank?
It's a
Oh,
well because I don't believe they have a. I don't think they're like a chartered bank. They just have banking functions. All this is still up in the air, and so because to be a bank, you have to recognize that the currencies are actually money, right? And if it's not money, these deposits aren't insured by FDIC. They're not, they're not guaranteed in any way. Just like those Luna people, they had their money in Anchor and they just lost it. So it is
mm,
what it is. But what I found interesting was that so after the Luna, I come to everything from the charts, right? The charts tell me if something interesting is happening, and then I go check. If there's a narrative, I've been burned too many times where you hear a good narrative and then you go trade the chart, and then it turns out, well, it doesn't actually manifest until like 6 months, a year later. So it's like, what's the point? Wait till the chart
mm.
tells you. So the chart was telling me in Luna that Luna was going to likely to collapse, and it did. So it's very interesting. And when that happened, I was like, okay, let me see other charts that have something similar. And so I went through a bunch, and Celsius Network has this token, Cell token, and I was like, okay, what's this token? Why is this token just crashing? Like it was crashing since way before Bitcoin started crashing, right? Bitcoin, Cardano, Solana, all Ethereum, all that peaked around November 2021, and the Cell token started dropping as of like April, May
When you
2021.
say
Like
cell, is that the name of the
the
token?
ticker CEL, yeah, the token
Oh, I see.
is called Cell, and so the Cell token. So when you look into these tokens, one of the things I like to pay attention to is what is the value proposition for the token. So Cell token, the value. So do you remember with Luna that the whole thing was that you can get like up to 20% interest rate on your deposits,
Yes.
and you're like, well, where are you gonna get that 20% from? Oh, don't worry, we get the 20% from other people who buy the Luna token, and then we give you that token, and then you could sell it, and you're getting 20%, right? And so you're like, okay, so the value of the token is only valuable insofar as someone else is willing to pay because they want to get 20%, and they're going to sell tokens to the next guy. Yeah, that's the thing. All right, Ponzi scheme, got it. So the Celsius token started collapsing. So I was like, okay, what's the point of this? And the Celsius token, it's actually let me pull up the uh get the actual description. Celsius. So 1 second.
It's your charts that we're going to be looking at?
No. I was going to get the actual
Oh,
description. Okay, I have it here. So this is the value
hang on,
proposition
hang
for
on, hang on,
the
hang on. I got to change the. Oh, go ahead.
this is the value proposition for the. Should I just share my screen so you can see it?
What's
Nah.
up to you?
Let me see. I can do that. Yeah, actually, let me do that so people can see. Sorry, 1 second.
Tom, I just changed the whole thing around, and now you're going to change it back.
That's right. That's the way we do it. There it is.
So what's happening? Am I sharing your screen?
Yeah, you can share the screen. So
Wait,
the,
hang
Cel-
on. Go ahead. You
the
got to
Celsius
wait till
token,
we're properly formatted here, so that
we can clip it
TikTok
out. I got
video.
it.
Yeah.
So here it says that the Cell utility token gives you what's called network rewards. So the first one is earners. So by accepting, so you're depositing your tokens within Celsius network, and you're getting interest. But they're saying that if you accept to get paid that interest in the Cell token, you can receive up to 30% more return on your deposits. Right?
What?
So instead of giving
30%?
you 30% exactly over
What?
here. So exactly. So that means instead of getting some stable coin back, you can get 30% more in return if you say, but give me the interest in cell tokens. And the idea there is that what are you going to do as soon as you get these cell tokens? You're going to sell them.
Yeah.
You sell them for dollars, and the whole point is that the tokens are, they're selling these tokens, so the token issuer gets money when you buy the token, and you're selling the tokens to the next guy who wants to get these tokens. Now, the reason you would get these tokens is that the more tokens you have, the larger the percentage of your return is. So, like, in order to get up to 30%, you need to have, I don't know, let's say something like 25,000. You have to actually have 25,000 cell tokens in your wallet with your other cryptos, and that way you can get, if you accept to get paid and sell tokens, they give you more
Mhm.
tokens. So there's a demand for it, right? The more money you have, the more interest you're trying to get, the more you'll have this token there, right? You can imagine that idea, that gain as many of these tokens as possible so you can get more sell tokens in order to sell those tokens to other people who are putting it in their bag so they can have more in order to get more sell tokens. So you can see how this is not going to work very well, very inflationary. And then you can get, for borrowers, they can get up to 30% discount on interest payments. So if you borrow money from the platform, you borrow some dollars, you have to pay back in interest every day, week, month, whatever it is. And they're saying if you hold a certain amount of cell tokens, you can reduce the amount of interest you have to pay by up to 30%. So you're like, okay, so the person I owe money to, uh, what are they? What are they getting? They're getting 30% less. They don't explain that. I mean, I'm sure it's all explained somewhere, but this is just the on the tin can what it says that it does. And then finally, institutions, by paying interest with cell tokens, institutions borrowing tokens from Celsius receive a 30% discount on their interest payments. So institutions can get up to 30% as well. So then I see this and I go, oh, this is wherever you don't see the productivity, then this is a problem, because the idea here is that the loans.
Explain the seeing the productivity, and try doing it without banging your desk. I know it's very difficult. You're one of these um,
Pounders.
uncouth individuals who don't pay attention to what you're doing with your
I'm
body, your
full in my
face. You
body,
just you
Peter.
just talk. It's just word vomit.
I'm so in the moment.
Yeah,
So
productivity. Why does it matter that something has productivity? Like, what do you mean?
you would imagine that, let's say you go to a bank, just all things being equal, you go to the bank and you deposit $10,000, and the bank says, okay, you're depositing $10,000, and in exchange for me holding this for you so that you can have access to our services and blah blah blah, and have it safe so you don't have it at home in gold bullion or whatever it was. You have the luxury, the privilege, and advantage of having it at the bank, and the bank is able to lend out that $10,000 to for what they see fit, and they might lend it out for something as risk free as buying, let's say, government bonds, right? That are basically guaranteed. And so they say, okay, we'll buy government bonds. We're gonna get, let's say, 1% interest from the government. We'll give you 2/10 of that as your payment, and we'll keep the rest of it. Right? They're making money on your money, but you're also making some money as well. All right, that's great. But then you can imagine that if they go, well, we're going to lend it out to someone who wants to start a business, right? They're looking for someone to start a business. We're going to lend it out to them, and then because that's higher risk than something like a government bond, well, they're going to ask for the interest that they're going to charge that borrower is going to be a lot more. So instead of, let's say, 1% that you might get from the government, they might ask from that person 5% for the sake of
Mhm.
conversation. And so from that 5%, you get a bigger percentage because obviously it's a bigger percentage. And the percentage return that the bank gets and that you get and the interest that the borrower has to get is all dependent on the risk of this loan. What is the likelihood that the person will default on this loan? And the reason for that is because you're not the only one depositing money at the bank. There's, let's say, 100 people, 1,000 people, 100,000 people. And so if 10% of those people who borrow money default, well, then the bank just, of the pool of interest that they did get, they give you what you're owed, and they take a cut. They take a haircut on that, right?
Mhm.
They get less of a profit themselves, but it gives them they're the ones choosing who's risky or not. So obviously they should take on that risk. And so you have this interest that's a balance of that. And the bank is going to lend out that money to somebody who's going to use it for some sort of productive means. They're going to start a business, they're going to invest in something or whatever it is, because the idea is that they're going to use that money to turn it into more money so they could pay back the loan, and the borrower still nets out with whatever asset or whatever profit that they made. This makes sense. you wouldn't lend out the $10,000 to someone who says, "Well, I'm going to go party at Vegas or buy a yacht or whatever," because you're like, well, what's if you have no income, you have no job, or whatever it is, what's the likelihood to pay back this loan? Not very high. So you need the lending to be tied to something productive, right? For this whole thing to work. Well, in this what we're talking about over here for Celsius token, where's the productivity? If I put in deposit $10,000 and then I get paid in Celsius tokens for my interest, and then I sell that token to somebody else who is going to use that money to deposit also in the Celsius network, so they can get 30%, or that money is going to be given to that money is going to be loaned out, but the collateral that they have to guarantee that loan is just more cell tokens or other cryptocurrencies or whatever. You go, well, where is it tied to the productivity? Where is the business that was created? Where is the new value that was actually physically created? Some service or some physical product that was made that justifies this money, right? Because ultimately, that money that was put in to begin with, that first $10,000, came from someone being productive,
Mhm.
right? And so it needs to lead to some sort of productivity. And if cell tokens are being created and generated and given out and sold to other people who also want to participate in this network, but no one's actually generating any productivity that can be directly, you can see why this is, um, that the interest rate that the person is getting is not dependent on how productive they are or the likelihood of getting the money back. It's just dependent on how much of this token someone has, right?
Yeah.
So you would say if you were going to take out a loan and you're going to do something risky, you would be like, okay, I want 30% for that. You can understand I'm charging a 30% interest rate because that person may or may not give it back. There's a high likelihood that they may not. But if they give that, it's a good gamble for us. We'll get a large percentage. But you, as the person who's waiting on that 30%, you should understand that there's a risk you're not going to get that money back. Is that what you read here at all? No, that's
No.
not what they say. So it's this idea that it looks like this amazing interest rate that's totally risk free, but there's no productivity connected anywhere. I'm not saying there is no productivity at all, but there's no way to know what's the actual risk you're taking. And so when I see a token like this, that's promising. So people are using the Celsius network. People are using this platform. So you would think, well, if people are using the platform and the Celsius token is dropping in value, well, wouldn't you just buy that Celsius token so you have less of an interest payment and less of and you get more interest in return if you're the lender? Like, wouldn't it be make sense that, well, I'm using the platform anyway. I'm trusting them with my collateral. They're holding on to it. Why wouldn't I trust them by taking their tokens and taking advantage of this amazing benefit? So if the token is dropping their price, that means on net there is not that trust is not there. Either there's a ton of people who got Celsius tokens to begin with and are selling this off. They're not continuing to use the platform for that, and that the people who are using the platform are all like small holders, right? So they don't really have a huge benefit to go and get the Celsius token because they're not getting up to 30%, they're getting 2% or something like that. Or it's a rug pull, and the creators of the platform who had tons, millions of cell tokens to begin with are just slowly selling it into the market in order to just mine this money out from the people who are buying the token. Because even though the price is falling, there's still some people buying it. Either way, what happens when that token goes to $0, Peter, or near $0? Then that means everyone on the platform can get $25,000, 25,000 of this token
For
with no
free.
effort at all because it costs a few bucks and put it in their account and get a huge discount. Where is this money coming from? So almost guaranteed this thing's going down. And so I looked at that from the chart before I even started looking into it. I was like looking at finding that out before I started looking. What are people saying about it? And it seems they were exposed to the Luna collapse. They've been hacked multiple times. People on their associated with the creators, the founders of the platform, are like been prosecuted for for fraud and other things. It's like there's no good news about this platform. It's not transparent. Even the parts that are transparent, you're seeing all this funny business. So I go, oh my god, short the hell out of that thing, make money on the downside. It's been very very exciting, and I can't wait for it to keel over. The problem is, Peter, if it keels over and it keels over too hard, it might break the peg on the USDT on Tether because we don't know how much money is set up on the scheme.
All right. So I think, okay, I understood a lot of it. I didn't understand anything after the bank part. It's a bank, but you seem very excited about it, so that's pretty good. It's so funny how you get excited about these things, these nerdy things. Why would it break the tether? Why is tether? First of all, why do these? A regular person going into the Celsius network, okay, I get it. You're just a schmuck. But why is Tether? Why are bigger guys? Why are rich people? Why are they in Celsius? Why aren't they seeing the same thing with Celsius and going, hey, why should we? Why should we? How is Tether intertwined with Celsius that it would cause it to depeg?
So in the crypto space, because the different cryptos are liquid and you can convert them one to another through swapping, what happens is that if any one given platform is generating assets that can be used as collateral or sold, what happens is that sometimes other cryptos you don't realize, but that a huge part of their base also has their money in something else. So, for example, when Luna collapsed, Bitcoin also fell, and Cardano fell, and Solana fell, and all that, because there's a certain percentage of people who are participating in the space who have borrowed money from those platforms,
Mm.
right? So they borrowed money for those platforms, and by money, it's really a collateral in whatever token. And then it turns out that token is no longer good. Well, then that collateral goes down to zero, and the collateral goes on to zero. Well, then they have to sell a bunch of stuff, or a bunch of stuff is no longer valuable, or a bunch of things need to be sold in order to cover their um, cover their cover their loan, right? So depending on where, because it's a whole house of cards, right? You build this up like the subprime mortgage crisis of 2008. Someone buys a home, they have no income, no job. They have a home that's worth something, and they take out a loan against it, and or the mortgage itself is packaged and sold to other financial players, and they're packaged in such a way that this junk loan is now considered to be AAA loan, and then people use that as collateral to make other loans and other deals. So what happens is that once there's a default, well, then everything, all the different levels, all the different monetary instruments that are created on top of that crumble as well. It's just that you don't know how far that goes. We don't know how far it goes. If someone, like the other day, what was it? I
This whole
think
crypto
Celsius.
market is looking pretty unstable. If what you're saying is the house of cards, where are the cards in there that human beings? You can't remove that. There's no amount of regulation that's going to remove that.
Well, it'll collapse by its own weight. So this is the thing I wanted to tell you.
So we
So
want it to collapse by its own
yes,
weight.
absolutely. And the sooner, the better, and the faster and the harder. Absolutely. Because what I've been seeing is two things. One, I thought I thought Celsius Network was an outlier. I thought, oh, they're like Luna, they're gonna collapse. They're a special case. And then so I started looking at other comparable tokens that are also exchanges or centralized exchanges that allow lending and borrowing and all that with similar dynamics for their token, and they also were falling. There's no one was really talking about them because they might not be as popular or whatever it is. Plus, they've all been falling since the same period of time, April, May of last year, which is interesting. Like the layer one tokens like Cardano and Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that, they peaked in November 2021. But these other ones started going over 6 months before that. And 6 months before that, I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but that's when the financial markets started to have conniptions. Even though the markets were still making all-time highs, my charts, my signals were flashing problem, problem, problem. Do you remember on one of my charts I was saying that it showed even though S&P was making new all-time highs, it was like red markers everywhere?
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, it didn't, but the market was still going up. Well, these tokens did not go up. These went down right of around that period of time, which shows that there's a structural, fundamental money problem in the system that first shows up in the weakest places, just like in Celsius token or Aave or Compound and all those other things. Then it bleeds into crypto, and then crypto bleeds into Nasdaq, and then Nasdaq into the stock market, and into S&P, and S&P into Dow Jones, and then all the way down to where we are right now. So if this continues as it's going, we should see another Luna type thing happen again, maybe even several Luna type things, which is why I think Bitcoin's going down to 14.5. Thank you very much. Timestamp me on that. Yeah, baby.
So basically, what you're saying is this is all Putin's fault.
That's right. That's right.
Don't bang
Actually,
the
if it wasn't
table.
for
Don't bang the
Putin,
table.
I mean, you know, the people who own wheat futures and natural gas futures and oil futures, they're making bank, Peter. God, I wish I knew this. I wish I knew this at the time. I had bet big on oil back in September, but turns out I was seven
Too
months too
early.
early, 8 months too early, and I bet too big, and I couldn't put the bet on again. But man, I would have made so much money. So there's tons of
Well,
people
look.
out there making bank on commodities. So thank you, Putin. Wait, does that get me? Does that get us off YouTube? I think if we say enough bad things, they can't cancel us. It's sort of like a Donald Trump sort of situation. Hey, Donald Trump, I just added another one.
Well, look, timing has always been a problem for us. We were even born premature, so nothing really works on time for
A
us.
wizard arrives precisely when he means to.
Oh, there's Lord of the Rings again. Okay, so let's bring it back to Lord of the Rings. Why are we? Okay, hang on. Let me move this little screen here so I don't have to see this text, this intimidating text. There we go. That's going to be fun to edit. Why did we call it New Rivendell? First of all, what is New Rivendell? Maybe we should tell people. Actually, I'll tell people since you've monopolized this conversation enough. We wanted to have a conversation online like how we have it just on the phone, and that's exactly how it goes. Tom talks about 90% of the time, and I chime in with some wisecracks for 10% of the time. No. I'm excited about New Rivendell, Tom, this whole project. I know maybe we've been teasing it, we haven't been explaining it, but essentially we're creating a digital town in augmented reality. And this town will be focused on helping people to get out of debt, to earn an income on their own terms, and to create goods and services that we export. Now, there's a lot that goes into that, but that's the core idea of what we're trying to do. And the currency, the money that we're going to be using in this town, in this social experiment that we're doing, will be crypto, right?
Exactly. Cardano specifically will be the main one.
Well, Cardano will be our main one, but from what I understand, you'll be able to use any crypto to transact. Is that the way we're setting it up?
Well, we had to modify the idea some because as we workshopped it with different people, people had different desires, and it's one thing to talk about crypto for the people who are already in the space. It's quite another if you're not there, right? So we wanted something that works for people who don't have a crypto wallet. What can they do? So you need to be able to do fiat as well, just regular currency as well. And so I'm not so the services that we want to be offering will not be crypto based, but there will be advantages if you use crypto, right? Discounts if you use crypto instead. Some different options available. Can you imagine someone on Fiverr, on Craigslist, or whatever, offering a job, and they might say, "Well, I only want to be paid in crypto, so that's what I want to be doing." So you might have to then learn how to create a crypto account so that you can take advantage of that. Someone might decide they want to do them both. So originally we had the idea of having the reason we wanted it all in crypto was that we wanted to have a percentage of the money of the fees that happened within our digital town be sent to a treasury, and the treasury would then um, have different machinations in order to increase the value of the holdings, and then in various different ways it would help pay for, just like a regular government, help pay for different services, different infrastructure for the community, as well as provide certain guarantees and interest payments to people. But that puts us in the category of a financial institution, and so I think it makes more sense that we have that as a long-term goal. But at the beginning, it's the interesting part is that we're doing it in a digital way, in a, I think you call it a decentralized town. I think that's more important, and that we're connecting people through the digital space, and part of that connection will be crypto, but not the main connection.
You're gonna have to put something on your desk. You can't bang it. You can't bang it. So maybe put some spikes or maybe a soft cushion.
I already have a soft cushion, but banging's gonna bang, bruh.
It pops in my ear, and I don't know how to edit that. So Tom, I actually have some. What are you doing?
I was backing away from the table.
You can't put something on the table that will just remind you not to bang your hands down there. Just put something
Obviously
there.
not, Peter. Obviously not. Or I would have done it
Get
already.
something fragile. Do you have a knife, a fork?
I have a glass.
Yeah, put the glass in the path of your hands, and that way it'll be difficult for you to. All right, Tom. I actually have. I'm writing down the talking points of New Rivendell, and I want to run them by you to see if the formulation is good, and maybe that'll help people to understand what New Rivendell is a little bit more. If you're okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, give me a second.
Please work in the words value, transparency, and reputation, or you'll get a failing grade.
But this is your venture marketing.
That's right.
We're not doing venture marketing right now. All right. Oh, I loaded up the wrong thing. Hang on. Don't talk. Don't talk. Don't talk. Don't talk. Keep it quiet. Okay, there we go. All right. New Rivendell scripts. So the description. New Rivendell is a town existing in augmented reality. Its purpose is to help its citizens earn an income, become debt-free, and export quality goods and services. What I like about this is that, what I teach as Bad Guru is not to be a zombie. And part of what makes people zombified is that most people are in debt, either living paycheck to paycheck in debt or working a job that is not meaningful to them, that doesn't align with their purpose in life. So if we want to de-zombify people, we're going to have to encourage them, teach them, help them work together to become debt-free. That's Tom, that's the thing that you seem to really be. You're the one who put this in here, being debt free, and I think that's really important. And then also, you want to be able to earn an income. First, hopefully, it's a side income, a side hustle, a passive income, whatever that means. But ultimately, it can become your full time thing. And Tom, you wanted this in here because it's not good enough to be debt free. You want to spend your time, your waking hours, your working hours, engage in something that's meaningful to you, right? It doesn't have to be world changing. It doesn't have to be special in any way, but it has to be something meaningful to you. And that doesn't mean that you have to be an entrepreneur and run your own business or anything like that. You can do freelance and gig work. You can work with other people, but having some ability to earn income online seems to be crucial. What are your thoughts about the debt-free aspect and earning income online?
Well, as far as the debt-free component is concerned, so the debt becomes a shackle on people's ability to make decisions. It's interesting when you're at $0, you have far more flexibility than someone who has to $50,000 worth of debt. It really both mentally and in the options that you have available, time wise in your life. So debt free is super important, and there's a sort of the reason I find it so important for a community or for this town is that it helps bond you with the other members of the town, right? If you're together with a group of people and you have this goal of being debt free, that means there's an accountability for other people to avoid getting into debt and a way of getting out of debt if you're in it. So I find uh, I find it could create a family, a community that's really very bonded. But the main concern is to liberate people's time and um, thoughts so that they can think about things that are actually productive as opposed to just servicing their debt. Now, as
Andrew
far
Yang,
as go ahead.
Andrew Yang talks about that, right? One of the things I loved about Andrew Yang's run for president is that he said a few things that other people didn't really focus on or say at all. And one of the things he said was, you want people to care about climate change. You want them to care about criminal justice, immigration. If people are living paycheck to paycheck and they won't have the bandwidth to care about these other issues when they're struggling to put food on their table for their family. You can't ask them to care about these tangential issues that don't directly affect them, at least not as directly as their paycheck. And so if we want a world where people are more conscientious, more caring, more compassionate, and are operating in such a way that our society becomes more constructive, less divisive, well, you're going to have to free them up from the shackles, as you put it, of debt. You're going to have to free their time up from working dead-end jobs that look, you might work a job and it's not horrible, but what are you thinking during that job? When you come home, do you feel energized and ready to read books and engage with the world, or you want to just turn your brain off because you're too fatigued? There's a mental drain that happens when you're doing work that doesn't tap into your purpose, that isn't meaningful to you. And that doesn't mean the work you has to do has to be some nonprofit this or building wells in Africa. Whatever, you could be cleaning floors, but it has to be something that's meaningful to you. I met someone who cleaned for a living, and it was meaningful to him. It was purposeful to him. It tied into what he valued, and he even used cleaning as a teaching method to teach people how to pay attention to their lives and to improve their lives.
See,
So
one thing
it's
that
really
I used to
important.
think of debt as it's described as a burden, as a weight on people. But I think that that's something that would have made more sense 50 years ago, 100 years ago. Now it's more like people are bleeding. It's like you're walking
Mm.
around bleeding, and then someone's asking you to think about something else or do something else. And you can't, there's no, until you stop that bleeding, you're not going anywhere because people now they're in you once you're in debt, the interest payments on all the weight on you makes it so that you just become less and less productive over time. You're not stagnant, you're becoming less. And so it's not just this idea of I'll never get out of the rut that I'm in, is that my rut is getting deeper and deeper. And so I really see people as bleeding now, as hurt. And there's no community you can build that doesn't have that as a basis. Even stuff like, I don't know if you've seen this, Peter, on like I saw this on Kind of Funny and different podcasts I listen to and different communities are on. The they call they call their fans a community, but then if people have hardships in there, there's the sort of like reticence to ask for help from the community, right? This is sort of the shame that's there, which doesn't make sense. In a family, you don't have that. In any town that I would actually want to live in, it's not like that. You would want to be able to be able to have that transparency and announce the problems that you have, acknowledge the how you got into that situation, and be helped with a way out of it. That's not this it's not like a capitalist communist sort of idea. It's a health idea. And I love this idea of having New Rivendell as a place of, and Rivendell in Lord of the Rings is like that, where you go there and it's a place of repair. You you get a full belly, you get healed, you get some tools that you need, but they're not setting you off richer than you were before. It's just getting you up to evil, setting you oriented, and now putting you on a path that either alone or with other people where you might be able to succeed. And that's how I want this sort of community, real community, to feel like and behave.
No, you have a real town, and I spent a lot of time now since we've been working on this project thinking about a town. And you know, I was born in Montreal. It's a big metropolis. It's nowhere close to a town. There's disagreements as to what a town is. Is it 10,000 people? Is it 100,000 people? You live in a major city, you're not in a town, and you don't know town life. And now I've moved out of Montreal to a town.
Right.
I think there are 10,000 people in my town. And the sense of community here is so different. People looking out for you, caring for you. There was a tornado recently. I don't know if it touched down. I think it touched down. Trees were falling and the power was out for days, running water because the water comes from a well.
Sorry, can you give me 1 second?
Yeah.
That's a good door.
All right. So I get to be here all on my own. I'm super excited about New Rivendell because we're creating. It's like having an online community, an online community, a social network, but we're housing it in the concept of a town to create this narrative, this story, right? And I think a story is really important. When I go on Twitter, there's no or Facebook or Instagram, there's no story in that community. I'll go into Discord, I'll go into Reddit, and there are people there, and they have their own offerings, but there's no story that ties these people together. What I want to create with New Rivendell, what we want to create, is a story of us coming together and working in order to improve our lives, but also to improve the lives of the people that are around us. So, Tom, what was I saying before you rudely left?
Tornado touched down, and you were surprised by it?
Tornado touches down, and the neighbors are coming out. They're cutting the trees. I had a neighbor come and help me cut 3 trees, 2 trees that were falling down, and one that was dead that was about to fall down. Help me clear that up, helping me with water. Because I'm running water. It's just like everybody came together. Everybody was helping somebody out. And when I was talking to people, they explained, I have people staying over at my house. I have other people's stuff in my freezer because I have a generator. There's a sense of community that happens in a town that you just don't get in a city. And what I want, to me, I think of New Rivendell as a social network. But the social networks that we have now, they're not really communities. Like they're groups of people who share an interest, yes, but they're not as close as you could be. I don't want to say close because it's not like I'm having dinner with my neighbors or anything like that. But the sense of connection, the sense of intimacy that we're all in this together is not really there in other communities when you're together because you're in a you all have pugs, and so you're in a pug meetup group. So I don't know how family you feel because you're connected with your pugs, but here we're trying to create a world, a town that will make you profitable, that will allow you to earn income, that will help you to be debt free. And the only way that happens, the only way we can free you, we can free ourselves, is by working together. So the sense that somebody else is creating a product or service or offering some level of education or whatever it is in the town for the benefit of the people in the town, I can't wait for that. That sense of community, I think it's missing from the internet world.
Yeah, you really want something that's multiplicative. And there's something like this is the phrase I use all the time: "Made in New Rivendell," right? And the idea is that anything that someone is claiming to be part of this community who then outputs something, some product or service, the better that that product or service is, the more people go, well, I want to go to that community to have whatever thing I need service done, because clearly they have, I don't know what mechanism they have in order to make sure that there's quality assurance, but certainly every time, no matter what product or service I get from there, either it's very well done, or if it's not, I have some sort of recourse. Like the entire group takes accountability for that in some way, right?
Mhm.
Even if it's like chastising the people within the group itself, and not necessarily giving refunds because people are doing that. But that idea of made in New Rivendell, where someone goes, okay, I'm a logo designer, but I'm a logo designer and I certified made in Rivendell, New Rivendell. So there's going to be a certain type of quality of interacting with that person and understanding how they're going to listen to what you're doing, and the quality of the work, and that within the community they'll spread the work within the community so that the community itself might be an engine to talk about your project, even though that wasn't even the plan, that wasn't even the goal. It's just that it's circulated within there. The closest thing I've seen to something like this is a Reddit subreddit, right? So you get this sort of thing where, and the thing I like the most is the karma in and the awards within Reddit, which is why within New Rivendell we want to have an honor system, this sort of status system, where and that's like the main crypto component that we're going to be having, honor, where the idea is not that you're getting this crypto token because you want to sell it. The idea is that it's a recognition for the work that you've been doing. It's better than a 5-star review. It's better than just a text review on a uh, on some site that can be faked or what have you. It's an aggregate of your behavior throughout the entire community, right? It could be someone who went to a comedy show. It could be someone who's providing a service. It could be someone who helps someone with a task or what have you. And all this honor comes together in such a way that you go, oh my God, this person has a type of clout that matters. They weren't farming honor, right? They didn't purchase it from somewhere. They're not just doing that so they can sell it off, and it degrades over time. So that the idea is that you have to uh, keep it up, right? If you turn to a douchebag, you can lose that honor. And so,
But the problem with Reddit is that it's anonymous, and that's why I'm looking forward to our community. Is that I think there's real value. It's really important. Imagine living in a town where everybody is anonymous, where you can't know who they are. I don't know how
well, that's what
connected,
we have
how
now.
close. That's what we have now, exactly, especially in metropolises. But even if, let's say, you go to the bakery and you speak to the baker, and but you never know the baker's name. You can't know anything about the baker. That's what Reddit is like to me. Like there's some very helpful people there, but aside from looking at the history of their posts and comments, I don't know who they are. I don't know what they look like. I don't really know much about them. So to me, I'm on Reddit all the time. I love being in there. I love helping people, answering questions, but it's so anonymous that people don't really know you. They can't really connect to you. And one of the problems that happens online, if I go on Fiverr, or I'm looking for some gig or some freelancer, or I'm reading a review, a 5-star review on Amazon or something, I don't know if this is a real person. I mean, there are a ton of fake profiles writing 5-star reviews, a ton of scammers who are on these platforms. But if you find your designer from New Rivendell, right? If they're an authenticated citizen of New Rivendell, well, then you can know at least I'm dealing with a real person. At least I'm dealing with a person who, if I have a problem with this person, if anything goes wrong, I can report them to New Rivendell, and there'll be some recourse, some consequence. I want to be able to deal with real people online. It's one of the reasons I kind of hate Twitter, because yes, they're the blue check people. Okay, they're the real people, but everybody else is like, who's commenting and why should I care about this comment? Are you a real person? Do you actually even believe what you're saying? That's
Right.
the other thing. You could have a real person who's
Or if you believe
trolling.
it,
Who
how much conviction do you have in what you're saying?
That's
Like,
right.
what are you even risking in saying this? So how do you think of that?
Look, when if I buy a product and I turn it over and it says, "Oh, made in China," I have a level of expectation as to the quality and the methodology that went behind it, more or less. And if I see something that was made in Canada or my hometown or something, then I feel like, oh, I know the people who live here. Like I feel more connected to the products and services that are made here. I love purchasing things that are local. I love purchasing things from Etsy. Tom, one of the things I'm so excited about that I think will take off are the creators. Look, there are people who are already earning a living online, or already trying to do their side hustle, already doing their own thing, right? They're competing in a sea of people who might be scammers. Like on Etsy, it's being flooded now with uh, Chinese makers, and it's not homemade, and it's not vintage. Like there's all this fake stuff.
Yeah, eBay's the same way.
eBay's the same way. A lot of different
Facebook
things.
Marketplace. Yeah.
So you're gonna exactly now imagine you're an Etsy creator, and you could be an Etsy creator, but a citizen of New Rivendell. Now on your Etsy profile or whatever, this is a citizen of New Rivendell. I'm gonna be like, that's the person I'm gonna want to buy something from. I know they're a real person. They other people vouch for them. The reviews that are on their Etsy profile are from other members of New Rivendell who are real people who have accountability. I think it's going to open up, if you're a creator online, if you're creating, selling products or doing your own thing, being a citizen of New Rivendell is going to help you to stand above others, stand out in such a way that people are going to have this inherent trust in you, more faith in what you're offering, and maybe even desire you more. And then the more we have creators in New Rivendell who produce quality goods and services, every time you produce a quality good or service for New Rivendell, you increase the reputation of New Rivendell for everyone else that's there. Everyone else that's there will then benefit from your good work, and you will benefit from their good work. That's a town.
See, you're talking about this, and it's interesting that it feels so novel to us, even though it's such an old idea. It's like bringing this old idea back, and it's something we've been begging for a long time. How many times have we talked, Peter, about we wish politics was different, and we wished entitlement programs were different, we wish the money was different, and we just didn't have the opportunity to do that. And now, not only has the technology advanced in order to provide us with some sort of mechanism of having accountability, and some sort of mechanism for having a sound currency, and some sort of mechanism for having a governance system, a decentralized governance system, or a digital governance system, you also have a crisis in the world, a supply chain crisis, trust crisis, money crisis, in such a way that a pitch like we're making right now, 10 years ago, I don't think it would go anywhere. But now I literally have people who contact me and go, this and this and this thing is happening, and I don't know what I'm going to do.
Mhm.
Like, how do we? How do we? They know they need a community somehow, a real community, not this fake community. When they what people actually mean as an audience, right? They actually mean as just people clicking on their profile, a real community, but people don't even, that word's not even on their lips to know that that's the solution to their problem. Actual community with actual accountability. And what we're talking about here is actually, you're saying, oh, it'll be better than Etsy, it'll be better than eBay, or provide different advantages. And what we're actually talking about is that we're advocating more responsibility, more accountability, more negative consequences if you do something wrong, right? And the idea that people would be gravitating to that, and we're like, oh my God, I would so love that. It's not just that I would have more of that responsibility. Everyone who's joining together has that responsibility. And we don't need people from outside to behave in the same way, because the worse that people behave outside, the more valuable we become. And so finally, I get to, instead of being out in the street protesting, looking for Ron Paul to become president, I don't have to do that. I can do something that actually works, or that actually has the essence of what I'm looking for, and that can grow dynamically over time, because towns grow, right? We don't know exactly what it'll look like 3 years from now. What we do know is that there's people who are producing things right now who don't know how to get that thing that they produce to other people, and the thing is valuable, and they just need help with that. And if we can just help provide just the mechanism for exchange, right? Because at first, it'll be within the community, people will be exchanging within themselves, right? It'll be
Mhm.
sort of like this import export dynamic, where the service that you offer to another New Rivendell citizen, you get it at at the local price, and someone who wants to get it from outside, well, they're paying more than someone from inside,
That's
because
right.
you're exporting this product outside of New Rivendell. It makes sense, and that encourages other people. Well, I want to be part of New Rivendell because I want to be. I'm regularly getting products from this community. Why don't I be part of it? And instead of having like a sell utility token that's more, buy more of these tokens and you get 30% off or whatever you're doing. It's like, no, take on responsibility and accountability, and then also get now, because of that, get a discount. And to me, it's fantastic. And we haven't even talked. I mean, we're not going to talk about all of today, but we haven't even talked about citizenship and how the treasury works. And
Okay, so
uh,
I want to run through, even if we don't spend much time on it, I want to run through this list. One, because I need to get the.
I'm just gonna get some more water, but you can keep talking.
Yeah, I want to run through this list because I need to get the formulation for this if we can, and maybe it'll give people more context as to what we're talking about here, because the idea is fully formed for us in our mind, but it might not be fully formed for everybody else. All right, let me format this. All right. All right. So New Rivendell is a town existing in augmented reality. Its purpose is to help its citizens earn an income, become debt-free, and export quality goods and services. All right. So Tom talked about Made in New Rivendell. New Rivendell is an expanding marketplace that will provide a level of guarantee of quality for its products and services. Any
That's right.
changes there? All right. Citizenship NFT. All right. The citizenship NFT is non transferable and gives you access to New Rivendell services, programs, and the community social network, as well as access to districts such as the commercial, entertainment, and education districts. A little wordy here. Uh, the idea
This
here
is where
is that,
we might have to take some cues from the Soulbound NFT that we were talking about the other day, that Vitalik put out a paper on. And
yeah,
it's the idea is that, because NFT, when you say citizenship NFT, just think of it as citizenship, right? Because the citizenship, you understand that as it's non-transferable, so I don't know that you need to describe it as NFT. Plus, the term is going to be so loaded with with failure, right? As all these NFTs go belly up, I would sort of like to distance myself from
but the
that.
T NFT doesn't stand for non transferable,
No, it means non-fungible token.
non fungible token. Yeah,
But but citizenship, a citizenship passport, a citizenship card is understood to be non-transferable. You can't
I see.
transfer citizenship. And the non-fungible is that again, that's buried within citizenship, and the token is just the idea that is happening online. I don't think we need
So
to spell that out.
citizenship token.
Um, I would just call it the citizenship, but yeah, you can call it a citizen token.
No, but I
The
mean,
thing is,
we're in the we will be using an NFT for this, so there's
well,
no need
anything
to
in the crypto
disguise.
space,
Yeah,
all crypto anythings are tokens. Some of them are fungible, some of them are
yeah,
non-fungible.
but if we just call it citizenship, then a regular person hearing it is not going to know we're referring to a crypto token.
No, I mean, I'm not trying to suggest that we just call it citizenship. I'm just worried that the term NFT will be loaded with failure. It's like calling it a citizenship.com. I don't want that sort of idea behind it. But
Look, well, let's continue
just
here and
token
we'll
for
see.
now. Yeah, token for
Token
now
for
would work.
now. Okay,
And
let's
can
see.
you make in the first paragraph debt free? I want that to be first. It's debt free first, then
Oh
income.
yeah, I noticed that.
Wait, you added NFT again? Oh, you were just putting in
No,
parentheses. All right.
I disagree with you, so I'm going to argue about it at some point. Um, citizens become debt free, earn an income, and export quality. All right. All right. So let's continue here, and we'll see. Oh, okay. So the thing I'm excited about here for this is that our town, like the reason we're calling it a town is that there will be, in a sense, districts. There's going to be a commercial district. This is where we'll create products and goods that you can buy. Entertainment. So a town's got to entertain you. So there'll be events and things in this town that will be divertissement. What's that word in English? We'll be able to give you some entertainment. And then education, because in order to help you be debt free, in order to earn an income, some of you might need an education on some level. So we want to give you an education. So we all have a baseline. A society works best when there is a baseline of education, a proper baseline of education. And so if we want the town to operate properly and for us to be on the same page, we're going to have to educate you in terms of what is money, the crypto world, and various ways for us to be constructive and work together. So some education will be available, and maybe you're an educator. Maybe you have something to teach people in the education district. You'll be able to offer that to people, and people can pay for that. There will be services and programs for New Rivendell. So Tom alluded to this when we talked about our treasury, but we do want to, we want New Rivendell to provide services and programs to people. What will that look like? I don't know. Will there be universal basic income? Who knows? Let's hope. Let's throw that keyword out there. Maybe something happens. UBI. All right. Wouldn't it be good to get a little dividend from the town, right? You live in a city, you pay taxes, right? But it'd be good for you to get a little something back, don't you think? So that's the idea of the citizenship. All right, moving on. Non-speculative crypto. This is what Tom gave us here. So the goal is not to sell your NFT to a greater fool, but instead to generate productivity that would not otherwise be possible. Tom's really obsessed with productivity. There's no value without productivity is what I'm getting here, right?
That's exactly right.
And the value of your citizenship goes up because the town is increasingly useful and its citizens are in demand. So it's not you buy a token, you can sell it later, make $1 million. That's not what this whole thing is. We're not using crypto here as get rich quick schemes. What we're using it as is for the practical application of what these tools are for. NFTs, what I'm excited about the reason Tom talks about NFTs as though they're scam and it sounds all garbage is because 99.99% compounding is a scam on the internet. That's what it is. Like, it's total junk. Like, oh, we got this monkey. Okay, maybe I can sell this for more later on. That's not what our NFT is for. An NFT provides uniqueness in the digital space. If you watch our previous videos on Happy for a Change YouTube channel, Tom explained that NFTs that what makes this special is that it has a uniqueness. This can't be also something else. But online, you can have a picture and then copy that picture. But with NFTs, you can code it in such a way that you can know for sure that the image that you're seeing online, that the item that you're seeing digitally is a unique item. And that's magic of it.
It gives a digital item a physical property. And a physical property that we have in our world is that something can only be in one XYZ location, one location. And so, sure, there might be 100,000 of the same kind of TV, but the TV you have is a TV you have. And so we never had that in digital space, right? The image that you would share, everyone had that image. A song, everyone had that image.
They were fungible before. They could be funged. If I took a picture from here, a picture from there. right? Doesn't that what it mean? Non-fungible means now they can't be
Yeah, but
funged.
you said it could be funged.
Isn't that how you use the word?
No,
It
there's a
definitely is.
fungibility to it. There's a fungibility.
Fungibility. It
It's
could be
a
fudged. What's the word? I'm sure I've heard it.
no. It's not funged. Just means that one barrel of oil is fungible with another barrel of oil because both barrels of oil can be used for the same thing.
That's right. Okay, gotcha. And NFTs makes it non-fungible, so they can't be swapped. They're not interchangeable in that way. There's a uniqueness. So instead of using that technology just to try to gamble online and try to get the greater full principle, we're actually using it for what it really is. Your citizenship will be unique, just like your passport is unique, just like your documents are unique, and we're going to be using that mechanism online in order to do these things. So we are not trying to pitch you something, buy our NFT so that you can sell it more later. You want to buy this NFT because it gives you access to the community. And the value that you get from this NFT is that the town is productive. And if the town is productive, then you benefit as we've
Let me just
described.
clarify there. You've been explaining a lot of stuff. Just want to add on that what productivity is is might sound esoteric, but it is what it is. It's energy reconfigured in a more complex way. And so think of agriculture, right? You're planting something, right? And there's not any new amount of stuff being created. Is that the item, the carbon and energy and all that is being reconfigured in a new pattern in order that this new pattern is now more useful to you. And so useful is, are you able to complete a task for it that you wouldn't have been able to complete at all or as easy unless you had this thing? And productivity is, did you use the energy that was expended and reconfigured it in a better way? Which is what that's what makes all these Ponzi schemes so clear, and that's why I say there's no productivity tied to it, is because the energy that was used in order to move everything around is not actually being reconfigured in any way that's now greater than the sum of its parts. If you don't have that, then you're just moving money around, right? At a casino, there is no productivity at a casino. You can say some people get richer and some people get poorer, but there's no new thing that's created from it. But someone who's painting is creating something new, right? This is why the NFT, the art NFT, took off so strongly because people can go, well, I can recognize there's some productivity because there was some effort in making this image. But
Mhm.
then it just went off the rails because the new configuration has to be commensurate with the amount of profit that you're making for it. And when the margin is so much more than the energy that's put into it, then you're actually destroying value. Because eventually, if you can't sell that at the price that you bought it at or whatever, then there's actually been wealth destruction.
Well, it's like the casino. The casino is providing value. The value is entertainment. But are you getting $10,000 worth of entertainment when you spend 10,000 at the casino? Probably not.
Yeah, but at least the casino is better in the sense that when you lose money, the casino gets it. But
Hmm.
when your NFT doesn't get sold again for the price that you sold it at, but you use it as collateral or you use that as your basis for your wealth, and now you can't sell it for that price, that wealth is nowhere. It got
Hmm.
destroyed. You actually
Interesting.
destroyed energy, which is why it's so dangerous to have a whole system based off of it.
But that's not what we're offering here. All right. We're not a scam NFT project. All right. I like that. Non-speculative.
Well, people will be paying us for the citizenship NFT. Well, they're not paying us; they're paying the community. The idea, though, was that, and this is not going to be in version one, but it's where we're headed to. The basically when the citizenship NFT is offered, this is what will come with it. That money is not ours to take. It's not our profit to deal with.
I don't like the
It
sound of
goes
that at all.
it goes
Not at
into.
all.
I mean, a part of it could be a part of a profit. We're going to make some money, but no, the it'll be stored in a treasury, and the idea is that that money needs to be used in a productive manner. It's sort of think of it as a if taxes were voluntary. You go, oh, I really like that program. I'm going to give money in order for that program. So you're paying the citizenship. That money goes into a treasury, and that treasury, the goal of that treasury is to make that money into more. Now, if it fails, then it fails. Like that. That's just the risk of it. But if it succeeds, then the profit that's being generated from there is now available for the community, for different projects, UBI, whatever we might decide to. So that's the reconfiguring the energy in a higher way. Now, if you think, no, Tom, Peter, I don't need to give you any money for the citizenship because I could do better for that with that money. I could reorganize it in a better way and make more money for myself. Great, no problem. That's not a problem whatsoever. It's we want to solicit people who go, I had these funds, and it's just sitting here. It's not doing anything for me. I'm already doing these tasks, and if I get to do the task in New Rivendell, then I'll actually be more productive than I was before. And so it's worth it for me to give up this money, because even if I never get this back, what I get in return for being part of the community is more worthwhile. And also, cherry on top, I might get it back, which to me is fantastic.
I agree with everything you said, except I will take issue. Taxes are voluntary. All taxes are voluntary.
That's what it says in the form, isn't it?
No, it is voluntary. You know, I mean, sure, there are consequences if you don't pay them.
Sure.
Nobody's forcing you. Um, Imagine you want to start something. You want to start your Etsy thing. You want to start a project, and then you're in New Rivendell, and you have 10,000 people there who are going to get your initial offering. They're going to be able to see it. That's really going to give you a jump start for whatever you want to do. You're an artist, a musician, a creator of some kind, and you have this built-in audience who, at the very least, will take a look at what you're doing. That's another thing we got to get to. We're not going to have millions and millions of people in this town. It's going to be limited. So there's going to be a real benefit to having these people behind you. But let's get to that here. Okay, this is one where I put this in: shared value community. New Rivendell's overarching guiding principle is love, defined as the deliberate seeking of value in another person, place, or thing. Its citizens eschew divisiveness and are united by a desire to be constructive. Look, folks, I do not want, I'm escaping the world to go to New Rivendell to get away from you zombies. There are zombies who live without purpose, who live without meaning, who are just focused on their base desires. And then there are other zombies who will freaking eat your face. All right. They want to eat your face because of what you said. You don't think the right thing. You don't have the right beliefs. I'm sick of these people. I am not looking to be in a town with people who are divisive, who want to tear people down. I accept that we're different, that there are, you know, what I hear people say all the time, Tom? Oh, you know, I'm human, we're flawed, we're human, we're not perfect. But then the moment you do something bad, that's the entire focus. That's the entire focus. Look, I'm just going to say this, all right? Okay? There are racist people out there who are not that bad, all right? They're not that bad. They take care of
make
their
one hell of a cup of
family.
coffee, Peter.
They make a great cup of coffee. You know, they're doing right by the world. It's just, you know, they don't want a black guy dating their daughter. Okay, I get that. Okay, I've met those people. All right.
Yep.
Does that mean I can't work with you? No. Look, I'm not talking about racists who want to lynch you. All right. I'm not talking about the racists who just dream about tying a noose around your neck. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about low-level racism, all right? I'm talking about low-level bigotry. You know, we all have grandparents.
You want no contact racist is what you're looking for.
No, that's right. That's right. Look, we all have flaws, all right? And I want to live in a society. I thought we lived in a society where people understood, okay, we're not perfect. That's fine, all right? It's not. We don't have to destroy someone entirely because they make one mistake or have one wrong belief or voted wrong in one election. Let's not bring up those keywords. I don't want to bring up, you know what people say online now? They call it election fornication because they can't say the other F word. Don't say the F word, Tom. They can't say the other F word, so they say election fornication. I think it's really funny. I don't want to live in a world where we got to walk around on eggshells all the time, afraid about saying the wrong thing because that's the end of your life. Banishment, exile, execution. That's not what I want. So what we want is a town of people who, look, maybe this will be restricted to people who were 35 and up. I don't know. I don't know what happened to the water. I don't know if it's a young person thing, but I kind of feel like this is weird define. No?
Peter, New Rivendell is not. We're not trying to be a safe place. We're a safe space. We want to be a responsible place.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, Peter, this is going to be red light districts of New Rivendell. I mean, there's going to be some shady stuff in New Rivendell. I got to accept that. I mean, I can't stop people from doing stuff, but as long as they're being productive and they're following the rules that we outline, I'm fine with that. But if people think, like you were saying, it's not a place where, it's not that we don't want people to get along. It's that we want people to get along with the understanding that we won't always get along, and we need a mechanism that works when we don't. Not banishment immediately. Now, to be fair, if people don't like me, They're not getting into
They're not getting
they're not getting into Rivendell. I don't think their application's gonna get through. I think it's gonna get lost in the mail. That's one
my
hurdle to
my
get through.
so my philosophy is love, and I know love means a lot of things to different things to different people, but for me it's deliberately seeking the value in another. It's love is recognizing that we have value, that anything has value, that there's a place for it in this world in the way that it is, and everything is continuously changing and morphing and evolving. But the state that you're in now, the way I think about it is that the universe is like a puzzle set. Every piece of that puzzle is meant to be there. I remember doing puzzles with my mom growing up, and I'm trying to force a piece in, and it's not working, and this piece sucks, and I really hate that, and throw this away. But I recognize that out of the box, all these pieces are supposed to fit together one way or the other. It doesn't matter how frustrated I am, doesn't matter how hard it is for me to get it to work. All these pieces are meant to be here. And then the universe to me is the same way. There are all these puzzle pieces out there, all these pieces of the universe. And we like to categorize them and go, these pieces should be, and these pieces shouldn't be, and these pieces are right, and these pieces are wrong, and these pieces are bad and should be gone. But the light and the dark have an interplay that create the universe that we exist in, and good and bad, and what's positive and negative, and the things you like and what you don't like, what we prefer and don't prefer, they all mix in to create the universe that we experience. And when you look at anything and go, that should not exist, you're denying a fundamental basis of reality. There are no extraneous pieces to the universe. And when you look at that person, you look at that stranger, you look at that politician, you look at that actor, when you look at that people that we see, no matter what they are, no matter how they are, they must have value. They must have value in this world for them to exist, because there are no extraneous pieces to the universe. And that doesn't stop us from trying to work to persuade people and show people a different way and all that stuff. But in New Rivendell, our fundamental basis of reality has got to be, our creed has got to be that we love one another. Not that we like one another, but that we see value in each other. And if we do that, I think we find our solutions. When you talk about the methodology for us to face our problems and to deal with the people that we're interacting with, I think at the base level, there should be this idea of love one another, see value in one another. If you do that, Tom, you've had conversations with people, arguments, where clearly that other person did not value you, your thoughts, or anything at all. Did you ever get anywhere? Could you persuade them? Could they persuade you? No. But when you talk to someone and you, in the back of your mind, you value who they are, you start with the assumption there must be something valuable in this perspective that I can learn. There must be something valuable. That gives you the mindset that will allow you to not only understand what they're saying, but to reach them in such a way that if you have to persuade them to a different way, they can hear you. There, that's my
Amen,
rant
brother.
about love. Amen, brother. So that's what we want for this town. It's not only a community that uses crypto, not only a community that's focused on providing goods and services and helping you get debt free and all that stuff, but we want a place of actual community where we can actually get together. And I don't want to be at the door policing everybody. Do you have the right beliefs to come in here? No. We only have to have one shared belief, and this is value of love. And if with that, we can do a lot. Lastly, here, or actually, it's not last, but almost last, we have purpose. The purpose of new, well, I read it at the beginning. It's to help you to be, to earn income, be debt free. Oh, I got to change this, and export quality goods. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about is our population limit. Tom, we're going to have a population limit.
That's right.
Tom wants to limit it to 144,000. Now, why is it that we want a population limit on this town again?
Because towns that are built on sacred geometry, like Washington City or Egypt, have a more of a deeper resonance. We have to treat it like growth. We've been talking about growth this entire time. This sort of dynamic organic system, and the dynamic organic system, you don't come out of the womb at 25 years old. You gotta build slowly over time. And the idea is that because you know that there's going to be problems to begin with, you can't roll it out wholesale. So first of all, the first people who are in there, it's sort of like a beta, but you can't have a beta town. It's just a small town, and so there is a benefit to people who get in early, right? There's a lesser cost, and the longer time you have, the longer you are in the town, obviously the more reputation you can gain. So there's a benefit there, but then there's a risk that they have to deal with problems that arise. So I'd rather start off with like 1,000 people. Let's kick the tires a bit and let we should feel the constraint of the population when it's time for the population to go through mitosis, and when that happens, we'll increase by a half an order of magnitude or something like that, and just slowly over time. But until we feel like, man, we have more orders for things than we can actually fulfill, and there's more money available, and there's things we can do with it, and this is that discussion, that desire, that'll be the signal to us that it's time to allow more people in. I don't want it to be just like, man, we want to get as many people in as possible because we're looking to make as much money as we can right away. And we might find that it might take years to get 144,000, right? It might be that we get to 50,000. It turns out that's a great optimal number for the situation that we're in. Or we might find out that a million is too small, and that it could support even more. But let the constraint be 144,000. Let that understanding be that we value the citizenship so much that we don't want to dilute it with just anything. We want to increase the chances that we can survive and thrive. And I think 144,000 makes a lot of sense. If you have too small of a number, what happens is that you don't have enough churn. Like the churn can actually destroy your population, right? If we work really, really well at a thousand, but if we get to 900, we have a problem. That's not good. You need people there to pick up the slack, and you need a certain number of people who are that they are internally focused within the community. So you had talked about the different districts, but there's different things like the peacekeepers that'll be within the system. That their job, they're not there to try to create new products and services. They're there to actually travel around and interact with the different members of the population, and to make suggestions and to solve problems. Like they're part of the judicial system, the policing force, and that sort of thing. We want people who are there to greet part of the immigration thing, that they're out seeking people who might be good fits for the community, right? That's their job, is to find people and to talk to them and convince them to recruit them into the town. We know the people who are there to develop different types of infrastructure, right? Digital infrastructure that we would have for it. It could be online events. It could be different type of entertainment venues. It could be literally platforms like a government website that allows people to inspect the list of citizens and the different services and town halls and that sort of thing. So there's different types of things that people within the community. And so since we need a certain number of people who are actually producing things to be exported or to be used internally, and some people to support those, that's where I find that 144,000 gives us a good amount of leeway, a good amount of flexibility in order to accomplish those objectives.
And we're starting off, New Rivendell is not opening its doors right away. We're starting off with an arc. And then the arc is limited to 10,000 people. So look, imagine Christopher Columbus sails over, right? But instead of bringing a few hundred people to start a town, he brings over 5 million. Like, let's start a town, folks.
Like, a lot of dead people on the shores of New America.
So what we want is, want to start small, and we'll have 10,000. You 10,000 people will be the reason why New Rivendell can exist, right? The initial capital that you provide by buying the ARC NFT will allow us to build this town. So this ARC here, you are the most important people. We call you the first called, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Tom?
Exactly. And the ARC token. So if you get to board the ARC, what happens is that you're guaranteed a citizenship afterwards, and so you have the biggest discount for the citizenship, but you are taking the biggest amount of risk. And this is what we said earlier when we're talking about Ponzi schemes and Celsius tokens and what have you, and interest rates. You should be compensated for the risk that you're taking. And so I think it's perfectly fair that the earlier you're in, the less it costs for you to participate. But
well, you're making it sound like people have to pay $10,000 for this NFT. It's not a huge risk. The risk is you lose your principal, which is not going to be. It's not going to be a lot.
No, I mean, like I said, this is not. We're not selling $1 million. Ape
Don't
NFTs.
bang.
That's not what we're trying to do here.
Don't bang.
What we want to do here is we need enough in order to make the effort that we're making worthwhile, right? We got to build the Nina and the Pita and the Santa Maria, and when we get to where we're going, we need to be able to build a settlement in order to survive the winter and the barbarous Native Americans who, another algorithm check over there, who want to come and destroy the white colonists. Analogy, you understand, Peter. And so we calculated it based on what we believe we might need, but we also you're paying it in cryptocurrency, right? So one of the benefits for that, and is why I think that Cardano is such a great token to use to underpin all this, is that and we've seen the cryptocurrencies go up in value over time in the right conditions, and so that $1 worth of Cardano that you provide might turn into $100 worth of Cardano over time. So that's one of the things we're banking on, that the cryptocurrency, that the crypto market is something that's worthwhile, that'll be around for a long time, that we might be able to gain value from. And so if we think that down the road the cryptocurrency, the $1,000 you pay in cryptocurrency in Cardano will be worth $5,000 later on, well, then we can take less now because we're not planning on selling it to the market in order to buy some Lamborghini for ourselves.
Yeah, we're not selling our NFTs for millions of dollars or even thousands of dollars. And the fiat you give us gets converted into crypto, and the potential there, if you believe in crypto, is that it can go up. So that hopefully will help our town. This is an experiment, social experiment, but it's one that is rooted in tradition, right? Towns are a thing we were familiar with. We're going to be creating a social network. It'll be decentralized in the sense that you won't have to be in the same geography in order to be in this town, but we'll be unified together online. And we're going to create a structure so that the work that you do benefits the other people in the town, and the work that other people in the town do benefits you. And I think, to me, that's what a town is. It's that when you work, it benefits to the other people. You're making bread for the town. Well, everybody benefits that there's a bakery in that town. You're repairing cars in this town. Well, everybody benefits that there is this mechanic in the town. And I feel we lose that when we're online in our regular world. And I'm really excited to bring that forward with New Rivendell online.
I think it's also important to add that there is no governance token for this. There's no you get a token and you're voting along with us in order to do it. No, it's centralized, very much so to begin with, and probably for the lifetime of it, because I don't believe that it's necessary, or I think that it's challenging to have a purely democratic system of deciding what people should do. So you're buying into this, understanding that it is Peter and I and the organizing committee who are making decisions of how it's set up, and your way out of that is to sell back your citizenship NFT, or to sell out the assets and to the next person. So you go, oh, you know what? I don't really like the way this is going. I'm going to sell it to somebody else who might think it's worthwhile, or you take the loss on that. But I think that it's very important to have a philosopher king type of disposition for something like this. And
we want a unified vision, and that helps with this structure.
Exactly. And it helps that, both you and I have families and children, and we're not going to be running off to Singapore with Do Kwon and Bernie Madoff in order to make our funds. Like, we're tied down to the areas that we are. We're very public online. We're accessible and reachable. So I like that sort of transparency. And
you can know what we think because we have many, many, many hours of content online.
Exactly. And we'll listen to subjects that supplicants who come and bend the knee in order to ask the throne if we may be so kind as to make an exception for a certain thing. We'll listen. It does feel good to be worshipped. We learned that from the Bible. So we're not trying to let that go.
That's right. In
order to be a good king, a good God, really, we do have to give in sometimes to the demands of smaller people.
There will be other towns, right? If you don't like our town, you can go to another town. That's the other thing. We believe there will be. Look, there are going to be nation states. We learned this from dear leader Raul Paul. There will be.
Facebook's trying to be a sovereign nation, so you can go live on Facebook if you want.
Yeah, there's going to be online nation states. We're not creating a nation state. We're creating a town in a nation state, and we're going to build our town in Cardanoville, I guess. Cardano land. Cardania. Cardanoland. And we'll have a town. And if you don't like your town, you can go somewhere else. But there will be towns, folks. There will be town. And this town is like augmented reality, because it's not just that you're living online. It's not Second Life, right? It's overlaid on reality. It's real people doing real things in the world with this digital overlay. And we want to use that. We love crypto. We love technology. I can't wait to use this stuff in ways that I feel like this is the way it was meant to be used. Not this casino gambling stuff that's online. It's like so weird. Like I love cryptocurrency, but I don't like people interested in cryptocurrency just because it's going to go up and then I'll make a lot of money. Like to me, that's not what crypto is about. Crypto is just it's money. It's digital. Now go and do your work in this stuff without having to use the old ways. That if you think crypto is just about get rich quick, that is not it. And any crypto that you have, this is why I love Cardano, right? People go, oh, Cardano, but where's the money? Where's the price go up? Price go up. That's exactly why I like Cardano. It's not trying to be price go up. It's not like Cardano is the worst casino I've ever been in. It's like they're not even trying to make any money. It's like, no, we're trying to build actually something good. And that's one of the reasons we want to build our town in Cardano, Worth Cardano.
It's funny, Peter. I see cryptocurrencies a lot as a sibling to psychedelic drugs, and and I love the Terrence McKenna line for when he was describing LSD. He goes, LSD causes I forget the exact phrase, but LSD causes
insanity in people
who have not taken it.
Yeah.
And I've had the suspicion that's been reinforced more and more now that the digital space is a real space. It's not just a figure of speech. It is a real space, and that in the same way that, let's say, mushrooms or something like that will connect you to the psychedelic realm, a cryptocurrency will connect you to the digital realm in the psychedelic way. It changes the way you're thinking. It remaps your priorities. You see things in a different way. The thing is, there's plenty of mushrooms that'll kill you if you eat them. Plenty of mushrooms that look like they're psychedelic and they're not. And so there's we've just been introduced to a vast array of this new type of plant life, if you want to use that for the cryptocurrencies, and we have to be very judicious in how we take it. And one of the things I love so much about the tide going out right now and all the cryptos collapsing is that, just like I suspected, Cardano, even though it's falling because there's always that amount of speculation that's there, just like in the entire industry, it's not falling like the other ones are, right? On any good news, Cardano can go up 20% in a given day, and it's beating out Solana, it's beating out a bunch of other cryptocurrencies. And I believe that once it all washes away, the very cryptocurrency that people are not talking about, that dismiss, that says a ghost chain, that, oh, you're just quietly writing papers and you're being careful, oh, dorks, like that's the sort of thing that can succeed afterwards. And it's proving itself now. It's proven itself now. Like Cardano should be at a penny if it was going to collapse like Luna did or what have you. And the fact that it's holding out. I mean, Peter, there was a big bet. I'm going to end on this, but there's a big bet as to whether Solana had come out of the gate after Cardano and just exploded and its market cap was larger or whatever. And people were like, oh man, Cardano's market cap will never be above Solana's. Well, it is now. It is now, and I can't wait till it exceeds Ethereum and all that. So we'll see what happens.
It's like these people, they must have heard the story of the tortoise and the hare, and they were like, that stupid tortoise. Stupid idiot.
Me?
He's losing.
What did you get out of the story? They're the people who eat the marshmallow right away. They're 3 years old. They eat the marshmallow immediately when the scientist walks out the room. Don't eat the marshmallow. You don't eat it. I'll give you marshmallow tomorrow.
Fail. All right, this is a lot of fun. We were a little bit more official in this capacity in this stream, but we're hoping to be a little bit more casual. I got my Amber Heard lights. I'm calling these my Amber lights because they're amber. That's my amber look.
You do feel a little bit histrionic right now. You do feel a little borderline right now.
You're not punched, Johnny. God, I love that line. My favorite line before was, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. And now my favorite line is, you're not punched, Johnny. I'm going to say that to my partner. You're not punched, all right? I didn't punch you. I'm so sorry I don't know what my hand was doing, but I didn't punch you. God,
that's why I'm so into the Celsius token, the collapse, or all these cryptocurrencies collapse, because I'm like, okay, I need another fix after Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. I need something else.
Bring on those January 6th trials. I cannot wait. Wait. Who do you think is going to be the next celebrity trial? I keep thinking, because there's got to be, Tom, there's so many people who probably made money. I know you got to go. Who made money off of this law tube thing. That there's going to be another one. So, I mean,
Peter, the one I want is paternity fight between Elon Musk and Amber Heard.
okay, but
That'd be
Amber Heard's been
great.
put through the ringer, all right? Amber Heard's been put
What?
through the
She put
ringer.
herself through the rigor and she dragged someone else through it. That's what she did.
Can you imagine if like the Bill Cosby trial or who else was in court and it was entertaining? It was
O.J.
damn.
Simpson was televised, so that was
Yeah, no, O.J. Simpson way back when, but there was a court case that I really wanted to hear live. What was it? Damn.
like a recent one.
Yes, there was legal trouble with what's his name? Kevin Spacey. Can you imagine if like hearing Kevin Spacey on the stand, watching his deposition videos? That'd be
So
so
entertaining.
good. Oh my goodness. You weren't molested, all right? You weren't molested. I'm sorry I don't know what my hands were doing. Anyway, I can't do
What
a
if he
Kevin
brings
Spacey
in the
impression.
whole, maps thing need to be added to the LGBTQIA plus 2S?
Yeah, okay, maybe we should move away from that. It's too sensitive. But I mean, I can't. Chris Rock should sue Will Smith for the
Why
slap
would he ever do that?
for the trial.
No. For our sakes or for his sake?
Tom, it's for the sake of everyone. For the entertain.
Peter,
He's an entertainer.
Will Smith is banned from the Grammys for 10 years. There's nothing that anyone could do to him that's worse than that. Other than maybe slapping him and emasculating him in front of large groups of people. Maybe he should just that. Chris Rock should say, I need a slap.
Did you see the guy who jumped on stage to attack Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
And then Chris Rock came out and was like, "Was that Will Smith?" Oh man, I was like, God dang. I wonder if he's ever gonna live that down. Anyway, you can look forward to more casual conversations in the future, but we will be talking about New Rivendell. And if you got anything to say, any opinion, anything you want to let us know, we're all ears. God King Tom Hartman / Sacred Prophet will be there to listen to you.
Well,
And
by casual, you mean that we will disrobe slowly on camera. It's sort of like a promo for our OnlyFans account, which will also be starting soon. That's where the
OnlyFans.
big money's made, Peter. Crypto,
Look,
get out of here.
come
You're gonna shake your
on.
money maker. Make tons of money on OnlyFans. Peter, the number of people I know and or friends of friends that I know are making bank on there. It
Really?
just blows my mind. Oh, Peter, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Okay, Tom, these TikTok people, women, who are like shaking their nanas on there, JJs on there, not the JJs, but what's the word? Tatas?
Bits.
Anyway, do they make money doing that stuff?
They want to gain their build their audience so that they can sell either images or OnlyFans things or whatever. But even TikTok pays you. It's just that doesn't pay you a lot unless you have a lot of followers.
Okay,
But yeah,
so, but the people who do it naked, and then I'm almost flabbergasted. I'm like, why are people watching these girls dancing on TikTok? There are actual naked women on the internet, tons of them, like tons of naked women. Why are we watching the TikTok people? But anyway,
it's because they're
who?
real.
Yeah, but they're
They're
real
not.
too. The cam girls are real too.
No, Peter, that's just like Etsy and eBay. It's a whole system of people who are pretending, the professionals who are pretending to be cam girls and amateurs
There
and all that.
aren't some real cam girls.
I know, but it's just like, how do you know it's really homemade when you're handmade when you're
What
buying an
do
Etsy?
I care? You know, there's TikTok thing. They're doing the same thing. They're manufacturing these TikTok things.
Yeah, but it's because they have to put so much of their own lives out there. It's harder to be a liar. There's
Okay,
an
who do you
authenticity
think
there.
makes more money? The ones who take their clothes off or the ones who don't?
It doesn't matter. It's if they hook into a specific niche. Just people who
No,
don't
but
take their
what I
clothes
mean
off
is,
can make.
can you make just as much not? Can you
Yes,
make just as much dressed?
absolutely.
Oh man, can you imagine those women who were shaking their things before TikTok was a thing, and they took off their clothes, and now they're like, "Damn, I didn't even have to do that.
That's
I
right.
could have done it on TikTok on my own."
That's right.
I feel bad for
Someone in
them sometimes.
2009 who just got herpes, and it's like, oh my god, I didn't
I
need to do
just
that.
entered the porn industry,
That's
but I
right.
could have just done a TikTok.
Exactly.
Tom, I'll tell you, sometimes I watch some porn, sometimes I watch it and I go, wow, she would look way better if she was dressed on TikTok.
Of
I just
course.
feel like, damn,
Of
you didn't have
course.
to go full throttle here. There's nowhere for
Yeah.
you to go. There's nowhere for you to
Well,
go. It's
I
all
I
off.
prefer the people on TikTok who have completely lost their who they are. All they are is this thing for TikTok, and they're so happy, and you're like, I know your whole life is revolved around making that shot look good or whatever. Like, and they do it so much that it's like you have no time for. You know how long it takes us to set up things, to do stuff. Like that's their life. There's not a meal that they take. There's not a thing that they do that's not geared towards
I
this.
feel
There's not a
so
relationship that they're in that doesn't start with. By the way, Jimmy, you have to know that I'm a TikTok person. I'm going to need you to be part of my thing. Like, there's nothing that's part of the life. Those to me are like, oh my god, not the dancing girls necessarily, but any of these people who've given themselves completely. I saw a couple on there. God, I wish I remember their name. There's a couple, and they looked like this happiest couple. This couple just had a kid and happy couple, and the whole time I'm watching them, I go, this does not feel right. This doesn't feel authentic. And then it literally went from happy, happy, happy. And then the next TikTok was them sitting down going, okay, so we're breaking up and we're whatever. And I thought it was a bit. I was like, this is the most authentic I've ever seen them in a bit. We're going to split up. And then one of them starts to cry. Because you think to yourself, if someone's crying on the thing, like they had to put up this video after. They had to be like, yeah, this is the one we're going to put up. And it was
rough.
like, oh my God. And then they split off and then they each started their own separate account. And then one became more popular than the other. And I go, oh
Of
my
course.
God, this is unbelievable.
Tom,
And so
go ahead.
in them being fake was this authenticity
Hmm.
that I could not. I literally have to stand in front of someone's house and peek through their window constantly every day in order to get that same sort of satisfaction. Man, voyeurs, this is their time to shine in this
Tom,
world.
I am loving it. Tom, if you making money online by shaking your boobs and putting on bras and dresses and stuff, if you're doing whatever it is that you're showing your butt, whatever it is you're doing on these TikTok things, if you can make money doing that, I think, Tom, there's so many like highbrow, complex ways for people to earn livings online. And I go, most people, it's just basic. It's just like, I like looking at this, I like feeling this, and they don't want anything complicated. And the fact that now it can be monetized,
Yeah.
you're going to lift so many people out of poverty. If we can find a way to make this even better, there's so many
Well,
people who
you
wouldn't
ever
have
heard of
gone
Secret
anywhere
Arrangement?
seeking
Secret
yeah,
Arrangement,
yeah,
I think
I
Secret.
think so.
So it's like a dating website, and the whole idea is that it
Was that the
connects.
sugar daddy sugar baby thing?
Exactly. And so there's this understanding that you're going to go meet with a person and sleep with them or do whatever they agree to, and that you get paid for it. And that came out. It must have came out too late because it was a flash in the pan because TikTok came out, and then people were like, "Well, why do I have to actually go and sleep with this person? I get to take advantage of Metcalfe's law, get distribution, right? This thing that um, women have always had the problem of not being able to scale the things that they're necessarily
That's
have an
right.
aptitude
Yes.
for, and now they are better than men. So it's like gamers on one side,
So you're
and
saying why the women
yeah,
are not no longer interested in going on seeking arrangements so they can get some sugar daddy? They can get 1,000 sugar daddies, a million sugar daddies, in a sense.
exactly,
I love
exactly.
it. I love it. I used to have a problem with it, but when I realized like what the average person likes to do on a regular basis is just be entertained, have a little titillating, feel a little connection or whatever. I go, fine, like do it. I want there to be millions of people being able to make money online doing.
And you can make the argument that they're criminalized in certain areas of the town and they're drug addicts that are being abused and pimps are pimping
That's
them
right.
out, like all that sort of thing of like, we have to clean up the area and send these people to jail and all that stuff is gone because they don't even need to get naked.
That's right. I love
It
it.
turns out that what people just wanted was connection. That's all they
Or
wanted
they want
was
to be
connection.
able to be seen. They want to. I mean, it's just like there's so many. Like I felt like in recent times we've put such a priority on being your true authentic self and creating something good for the world and blah blah. But at the base level, people are just they're just animals, And the fact that you
Well,
can now monetize
when we used to go to clubs and people would go out just to dress up and be seen by others.
and be seen. They didn't necessarily
That's
want to
what they
go
want to
home
do.
with anybody. They just want to be seen. Yeah,
Exactly. And they were fine. Like we were all fine with that. Oh, of course I can understand that someone wants to dress up nice and go out and be seen.
yeah.
And now they get to do that from the comfort of their own home and in exactly the way that they want, without some guy, leering at them from across the bar or worried about when they walk home. Now there are still the horror stories of people online, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if you're showing
stalkers.
up at your place, people can find out who you are. That I can understand. But the risk reward, oh my god,
I love it.
my lord.
I love it. I love it. Find a way to monetize everything. Anything that could, anything that has value to others, find a way to monetize it. And I don't care what that is. Look, there are people who are online and all they do is like, they like ASMR, right? And they're just like opening candy wrappers and it's like, and I'll watch these. I go,
Amazing.
there's 100,000 people who just want someone to whisper into their ear.
Exactly.
Like they want that. I go, freaking monetize that. Absolutely. If there's value, monetize anything that has value. I don't care what it is. Why is it only corporations and the big dogs and people who can program and code? It should, every single thing that could be possibly have value. Tom, I've watched YouTube videos. We're gonna keep talking. I've watched YouTube videos. People, all they're doing is trying out, testing snacks.
Right.
Today is a popcorn on the internet. That was a joke in Community where the guy
That's
was
right.
testing out pizzas and chips or whatever, and now people are actually making a living doing it. It's crazy.
Peter,
Kid Boga is
I
calling
see people
scammers. He's
on
talking to
scammers, exactly.
scammers on the phone and making bank doing it.
So all that is
Monetize it all.
effort. There are people on TikTok who are gaining followers just by putting up some clip that they've seen on YouTube or on the news or whatever, and they're just there like this.
No. Really?
Well, there's whole accounts that are just reaction accounts.
Yes, that's right.
And some people will be like, "Oh, I like the video, but I really want to see the reaction videos." And I go, "There are all kinds making bank out there."
Tom,
And it makes me feel sort of like, why am I trying so hard with new Rivendell? Like, why don't I have
I know. You got
why
to do
can't I
what
just sell
matters to
t-shirts
you.
online?
You got to do what matters to you. You got to do what matters to you. But there's a ton of times where I'm watching something and I'm like, I need a reaction. It's like why I love going to a movie theater to watch a movie instead of watching it at home. The reaction of the people. So I'm watching the Johnny Depp trial or whatever it is, Will Smith slapping someone. I want to go and watch the reaction videos because I want to see how other people reacted to that. And now they're just there's reactions up the wazoo all being monetized. Like, so
Peter,
it's great.
people will put up videos of them in a movie theater recording key moments of a movie so that you can have the reaction of the crowd on there.
No way.
So if you want to see when this happened, everyone, oh, because you're in your town, you didn't have that, or you didn't go for opening weekend, or whatever it is, you saw the movie later on. You can get the feeling of that one moment of everyone going, "Oh my god!" and applause, and it feels great because the camera's shaking and they're showing in everyone, and that's like a thing that you can do. It's unbelievable.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. It's like the internet is becoming more like the real world, and it's fantastic. Because I remember as a kid, I saved up my allowance to go buy a shovel. Me and my friend bought a shovel, and then we went around and we shoveling people's driveways for $5 each, and making money doing that. And the simplicity of that. There's a basic need that someone has, and I could accomplish it in a very easy way. I don't have to set up shop. I don't have to online. You turn on your camera and you can provide value straight to the world, and it doesn't even have to, you don't have to set up a whole thing. Even setting up an Etsy shop takes it's a whole freaking headache. This is so easy. Provide value and potentially be monetized.
There's
And
a
it's so
TikTok channel
simple.
I started following where all the guy does is that he sets up a candid camera and he goes to the grocery store, and when someone's about to pay, he pays for them. Click, and walks away. Click, and the camera stays on the person like so happy. It's like, oh my god. So this other person, they walk around and they have notes that like, you are special, you are loved, and I'm so happy that you're part of this world. And they'll just walk by and give it to somebody and walk away, and the person will open it up and like tears will come down their face, like they see. It's like monetize everything.
Monetize
Everything.
anything that has value. Yeah. And I think crypto will help us do that more and more. That's why we're trying our hand at this town. It's like you want to build a town in the real world. Good luck, but that'll take a lot of effort. But what if we could create a town online? We use all the tools that we already have, put them together in such a way that it creates the sensation of a town, of a community, and let's see what happens. I think it's going to explode. I think it'll do great. Anybody who has a mind to see the future, that we're definitely going in this direction, you're going to want to come into this town. It's not even going to cost a lot. I don't know how much our tokens are going to cost, but it ain't going to be a lot. And you're going to come in here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to be a part of something new. Tom, we could talk all day.
It's so exciting.
So exciting. All right. We'll have to do this again very soon. If you are watching this after the fact, we are streaming on our YouTube channel on New Rivendell. I'll post a link somewhere. But you can join us on our Telegram. Let me show you here. This is our Telegram. Don't talk. There's Telegram. So if you want to chat, you can join us here. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hey, let me type something. There. Hi. You can come in the chat. Oh, I typed that in the wrong place. Anyway, come and join us on our Telegram. It's New Rivendell. We'll put the link somewhere down below. You know what? We're not going to put the link anywhere. You're going to have to find it. All right. Anything else, Tom?
No, I'm looking forward to doing it again.
The only reason I'm stopping, I know you got to go, or else I'd keep talking, but.
No, I mean, if I keep talking, I'm going to keep going back to the financial thing, because there's a whole thing happening right now that's pretty interesting.
What does your signal say?
So my signal is in consolidation mode right now, but it's saying that.
Are we supposed to know what that means? Consolidation mode?
Sideways. It's not one way or another. But there's a very real possibility that, I mean, one of the reasons for New Rivendell, I gotta say, it's like we are headed into what's possibly the most recession-y, depression-y time we've seen in 100 years.
Is that the technical term? Recession-y, depression-y?
Recession, depression. Is that better? I could take away the
Tom,
E
when
from
I
the
hear
word.
people in the know talking about what's coming, it's like the whites in their eyes. It's like all the blood leaves their face. They're like, what is about to come?
Yeah. Well, when you have full-on professionals going, maybe it's not such a bad idea to have 2 or 3 freezers and stock it up with food. Maybe it's not such a bad idea to reorganize your entire life so that you don't have to depend on the same services you had before.
All that while gas is like super through the roof, and you're like, how am I supposed to do this?
Well, the gas thing is just a symptom, right? Because let's say it costs you. So it used to cost me $20 to fill up my tank of gas in in the middle of COVID, right? And now it costs me more than $100 to fill up my tank of gas. Okay, well, I mean, I just reduced the amount of things I spend elsewhere, right? So there's that. Now, so the people on the margins, that's where it really hurts them. If you're already living on the edge, okay, that really sucks. But as the society as a whole, that's not the real problem. The real problem is $121 gas now portending $300 gas.
Oh, Tom,
that's the real thing.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Well, there's a very real possibility of that, and then that means that bonds get destroyed, yields will go through the roof, and if bond yields go down, well, the mortgages are going to be. Peter, imagine you had a mortgage payment, and now your mortgage payment is okay. Right now, I think for some people it's like 1/3 more. Right, they're paying 1/3 more on their mortgage payment. Okay, you went from $1,000, you're paying $1,300, $1,400. Okay, not so bad. Imagine it goes up 5 times.
That's a lot of homeless people.
That's so many people who have. If you don't have a home, you get more roommates and you move in with your parents or whatever it is. But if you do, you're a landlord. People envy the people who rent. Oh, I got 2 homes, and I rent them out. Yeah, when they have to fire sell those places because they can't be like, maybe they can afford spending 5 times more on the mortgage, but they can't find someone else to rent it, and they go, well, I might as well just sell the house. I didn't get this to have a headache. Well, what happens when 5% of the population sells their second homes? What do you think happens to the prices of all homes? Vroof. Like, there's going to be opportunities and destruction, the likes of which we haven't seen in forever.
So where's the opportunity?
I mentioned oil. I mentioned, well, anyone with debt that needs to have debt service that they can default on, it's going to be. It could be very, very rough because a lot of people service their debt by taking out new loans to pay old debt. But if interest rates keep going up, you can't do that. Millennials who have been waiting
don't bang on the table, by the way.
Millennials who've been waiting to buy homes, right? And who couldn't afford a home because their parents bought it at $50,000 down, and now the house costs $1.2 million or whatever, and it's like crazy. You see these shacks in LA that cost $10 million. It's absolutely insane. Well, if there's a sudden downdraft in these prices where people have to fire sell these places, well, now you might be able to get that. Okay, fine, you're not going to get the $1 million house at.
Okay, no. Millennials don't have any. Millennials don't have any savings to buy these houses, and BlackRock is just going to buy up all these houses. That's what's going to happen.
I don't think so, because the hedge funds and stuff like that. I mean, maybe, but the hedge funds and investment firms, they're buying these houses with leverage, Peter. They're not buying it with cash that they're sitting in the bank. They're
Oh.
buying it with leverage because that's how the system works. And so if they had to buy it outright with cash, they're buying it expecting to rent it to the people that they bought it from, right? But if those
Oh.
people can't pay for it anyway, then what difference does it make? They actually might be sitting with huge amounts of liabilities. People like to think these people are such geniuses, and they know everything about everything, and they know how to make money from anything. Peter, it's just like someone who's like really into Pokemon cards, and they could talk to you forever about Pokemon cards and know exactly what to get and what to trade and all that sort of thing. That's what these financial people are. They didn't come from the womb chosen by the Lord in order to manage money. It's just that's the thing they got interested in, and just like you know a lot about yachts, they know a lot about the monetary system. But they're just as a lot of them are just as dumb as anybody else, right?
Hmm.
Even if you want to talk about globalists and elite controlling the world, they're not 5% of the planet, all right?
Hmm.
It's 0.001%, right? The people working for them are the people that I'm talking about. And so even if larger firms, investment firms or whatever, are buying up the stuff, they can't buy everything. I'm not going to buy everything. I mean, if that's the world we live in, then buy bullets and buy gold. What do you want me to say? But if that's not the world, then it's gonna be like subprime. It'll be a period of time where boom, there's a huge downdraft, and there's an opportunity to buy stuff at the cheap. Man, I look at stuff like so the Nasdaq's down whatever. Let's call it 20% over the last year, and there's people who last year bought the Nasdaq at all time highs, going, I wish I got to get it now, right? And now you could buy it at 25% cheaper, and we're not even in the meat of it. So imagine you get to buy Tesla or Microsoft or Apple or whatever at
That's how I feel
50%
about
lower from
crypto.
here.
That's how I feel about
Yeah,
crypto. I go, why are these people upset that crypto's going down? First, do you believe in crypto? If
that's
the
right.
answer to that is yes, it should go as low as humanly possible. I don't go to the store and go, oh my God, the steaks are so low in price. What is
That's right.
wrong with the price of these steaks? I want the steak. If they want to sell me the steak for $2, I'm going to buy. Tom, power went out here because of the tornado. There was a organic food store that we go to, so we go there to get some food because anyway, we had to get some food. The power is out. We had to get food. We go there. Their power is out, so they're selling everything. Everything must go because they can't keep it. I make I bought hundreds of dollars worth of food for $100 for cheap. And I'm eating better now than I've ever had before. Why? Because the thing I wanted dropped in price and I bought as much. I looked at people standing in line. I'm like, I'm buying literally everything that's in this truck right now because I want it. When I'm looking at crypto, I'm just salivating, going lower, lower, get lower. Like, what is the problem? Why are people freaking out?
Well, let's say that a lot of the price of Bitcoin, let's say, is from the money spigots, right? It's just inflated in price. Let's say that's the case, and let's say the true value of Bitcoin is at where it was before all that money spigot. Let's call it $100. Let's say that's the true value of Bitcoin, and you just wait. You just wait until it gets down as low as possible, and it gets down to there. Now, if you're Michael Saylor, then you got a problem. All right. But if you're just waiting to buy it and you buy it at 100 and you go, it can go from 100 to 200, well, you double your money.
Yeah,
Like performance, that's the thing about performance. It doesn't matter what price you buy it at, especially crypto, because you're not limited to a unit. You can buy fractional amounts. It's what do you think it go from here? And so
percentage change.
if you go there's any value whatsoever, and you wait until everyone and their grandmother goes, I will never buy Bitcoin again, and then it's still trading at $100. Then you could be like, I think $100 is fairly
Is the floor.
market value for it, and you buy it at $100 and you sell it at $500, $200, or whatever it is. Like people buy, people will buy Amazon at or whatever. Yeah, let's call it Amazon at $3,000, hoping it'll go up 10% in the year, and that's like a perfectly fine thing. That's perfectly good thing, or a stock that doesn't even give a dividend. They'll buy it for 10%. But if you say buy this, you spend a fraction of the amount to buy a crypto that has already dropped in value and all that's been washed off, and we're even seeing some healthy growth in the numbers again. Now buy to go, oh no, it's too risky. What the hell are you talking about? You know, Amazon used to trade at $6, right? What are you freaking talking about? What are you buying? Crazy.
All right. Well, you know what's crazy? We've been streaming for nigh on 2 hours, which means we've
That's
been
right.
working on this literally. Literally. What time did you get on here? Was it what 9:30, 10 o'clock? We're like, okay, let's set this up. Let's stream. Here we
That's because
are.
we're professionals, Peter.
We're professionals. Got to do
We
it
didn't
right.
want shitty shots.
All right. Well, we got casual at the end there, so that's good. Follow us on TikTok, New Rivendell. Find us on Telegram, New Rivendell. Find us on YouTube, New Rivendell. We're building a town, people. What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Are you shaking
You
your
idiots.
nanas on
You
TikTok?
lazy cowards.
Yeah,
Come at me,
little
bro.
lazy bastard. I'm building a town. What are you doing today? All right. That's it.
Who's clipping these videos out?
Oh, I don't know. This guy is going to have to go through this. I don't even know what to clip out. Anyway. All right. This has been a lot of fun. Anything else?
No. We'll be back. Basically, the goal here is whenever we have something that Peter and I want to talk to together, you guys can be privy to the conversation. We'll see how it goes.
And as you've heard, sometimes we say really terrible things, non-politically correct things.
Everything I said was true.
Everything.
So I don't know what you were saying. Everything I said was true.
All right. Bye, folks.